The Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. You only win a Super Bowl 2 times every 5 years, right? Oh! The warm-up act is over. Let's bring in Melissa Etheridge, massive Chiefs fan. Melissa.
Super Bowl champion, 2-time Pro Bowler, and Trent Green. Trent Green, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And he picked it up! He picked it up! He's gonna score! And we'll see you next week, but until then, as always, go Chiefs. Hey, welcome in. It's the Arrowhead Addict podcast, the Chiefs pregame show. We're going to try something a little bit different for this pregame show. It's a preseason game, and we really like when you all, and if you're watching out there on YouTube, my name is Patrick Allen, of course, it's the Arrowhead Addict podcast. If you're watching out there on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. I know there's a lot of people out there that are looking for the Chiefs game. They want to talk Chiefs with us. Hit the like button. That's a great way for them to find this content. We're going to do something a little bit more informal for the pregame show this week, and we're just going to kind of do a Q&A, you and me, back and forth. Let's talk out some stuff. Let's talk out our feelings about everything. What questions do you have for me about the Chiefs, about the roster? I'm not going to have all the answers. I want to know what you think about all this stuff. So let's get into it. What questions you have about the game? I'll just start things off, and we talked about this on the Thursday show. I'm super nervous about the field and injuries. That's my main concern in this game. Aside from everything that I want to see from the players, Justin Ross and Wanye Morris and some of these guys that we're really interested to see how they're going to turn out and as their careers begin as Chiefs. I just want everybody to get out of there healthy, especially the most important guys, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, that interior offensive line, the whole offensive line. Every starter needs to be healthy. What are you looking for in this game? What questions do you have? I'm curious to know. Joshua Baker says, are you worried about the wide receivers? Joshua, going into the season, I was a little bit, just because you had a lot of unproven guys or really young guys who haven't really shown us anything yet. And then Marquez Valdes-Scantling, right? That was kind of how I was talking about this wide receiver group. I didn't know what we were going to get from Sky Moore. At the time, I didn't think Justin Ross was really worth a second thought. I wasn't anti-Justin Ross. I just didn't understand the hype. I do now. So am I worried about the receivers? A little bit. I'm still a little bit. I'd put my threat level, if it's a threat level from 0 to 10, I'd put it at a 5. There's still a lot of unproven guys who haven't done it in the regular season, but I'm really intrigued by what I saw from Richie James in that last preseason game. I'd love to see him build on that. He had a nice little season for himself in New York last year. Obviously, what we've been seeing from Justin Ross is really exciting. He has an incredible physical toolbox. He's looked really good in camp. He made an impact in that first preseason game with a backup quarterback, maybe the third string quarterback throwing him the ball. So, I'm not in a panic. We know what we have in MVS. I'm a little bit worried about Kadarius Toney's injury situation, but I think with Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, if only one of those two hits and you got MVS and then you have a sneaky third guy, plus you got Kelce to throw the ball to, I don't think there's really a reason to panic this year. And remember some of the wide receiver cores that Andy Reid had when he first got to Kansas City, and Alex Smith was the quarterback. Think about some of those guys. They had I think they brought Jason Avant was on the team. So these were not like murderers row. Before they got Tyreek Hill, there was no real standout receiver other than Travis Kelce. And he just knows how to move the football. He's going to take the personnel that he has, and you're going to have a successful offense as long as you've got a competent quarterback that can take care of the football. Well, this Chiefs team has Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. That alone, they could maybe put me in there at wide receiver number 2 and still win the AFC West. So not going to panic. In fact, I'm very excited about the youth and the upside of some of these guys. And boy, if they all hit, I mean, just think about it. Say Sky Moore breaks out this year and Justin Ross is actually that dude. And that's to say nothing about Rashee Rice. If that's the case, look out. because this team's not going to lose very many games in the future, and we already like what we got on the defense. Jesus Perez says, who will be the punt returner? Man, I'm not sure. I haven't been paying great attention to special teams. I know they've been using Deneric Prince in some special teams things. Did they have one of the DBs back there returning punts? I can't. You guys let me know. I don't know on that one. But that's an important role. Somebody who can catch the ball, preferably. Maybe they're not going to put Sky Moore back there after last year, and since he's expected to move up the depth chart. Let's see what else we got here. Tom Hood says, I'm hoping the first team unit on offense can actually go score some points. Yeah, sure, man. That'd be nice. I'm sure they want to as well. Last week was a warm-up act. I expect a little bit more firepower from them and not just like 4 straight carries to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Jeremiah Lowry says, all the running back buzz was Prince. Suddenly it's all P. Ryan. What happened and is it legit? These guys are there in practice. And so it could be a number of things. It could be something about, maybe they saw in practice that they weren't happy with Deneric Prince's blocking ability, or maybe it was a ball security thing, or maybe it's his pickup on the playbook. And it could also just be something really simple, which is they really like Deneric Prince and he's been getting reps. And now you're going into the second of 3 preseason games. So the week before that, there's a reason you bring somebody like P. Ryan onto the roster. And if you're not just considering him a camp body, you must like something about him. So maybe the Chiefs are getting to that point where they're like, okay, this is the time to get a look at this guy. So let's give him some more reps in practice. We think we know what we've got in Deneric Prince. Let's give P. Ryan some reps in practice. Maybe let's give him a little bit more run in this game. And then we've got to decide between those two guys if they are indeed thinking of keeping 4 running backs. I think we assume, unless he's traded or something weird happens, Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be on, Jerick McKinnon, Isaiah Pacheco. So that's my thoughts on it. Kyle Griffith says, did you see plays calls a little more or less aggressive, knowing the field has injury issues in the past? I don't think so. I think what the Chiefs are going to try to do, the most important thing they can do is make sure these guys have the right cleats on. So get out there early, test it out, determine what, is the right equipment. And then they just got to go out there and play. A guy can get hurt on any sort of play. So I don't think there'll be a change in the way that they call plays. Clint says, I have to watch with the sound off. Still glad to be here with Patrick and my people. I don't know if we've got live captioning, but appreciate you watching, man. All right, what other questions do we have for the game here? Caleb says, easiest way to not make the team as a running back, not be able to protect Patrick. Yeah, absolutely, right? Like having that skill set is paramount. It's so important. And if you don't have it and you're not, Isaiah Pacheco or somebody like that, you're a roster bubble guy, good luck. It's not going to happen. Jeremiah says, thanks for taking my question. Of course, man. Thanks for sending me your question. I really appreciate you guys taking part in the show. Like I said, we wanted to try something new this week, get you as involved as possible. You guys are always so great and you're so active in the chat. So why not center some shows around you all? Tone B says, what's up, fam? What else we got here? Gonna find some more questions. Fire away, fellas, ladies. Jason Tyler says, what players do you think can play their way into the team like Ronald Jones did last year? We've seen a little bit of that, right? Guys like Jody Fortson, Doris Fountain, who they liked a little bit, and then they played well in preseason, and they found themselves with a roster spot. That's a good question. I think Deneric Prince is one of those guys. Like based on some of the things we're hearing, it sounds like he's got a shot to do that. Matt Bushman is somebody that they've kept around that you hear a lot of good things about. So I'll be looking at him tonight. He played well last preseason before he got injured. Nico Remigio. I mean, that's a guy that it's going to be really hard at wide receiver. Maybe he's not able to play his way onto the roster, but a practice squad spot, I think absolutely. So we'll see. Okay. Country Clay says, are you worried about Chris Jones and his absence? I talked about this extensively on Thursday. So if you want a little bit of a deeper explanation about how I feel about this, go check out the Thursday show. No, I'm a little concerned. I don't like it, but look, the Chiefs just wrapped training camp last week. They're going back to Arrowhead and the facilities there. Don't be surprised if Chris Jones is back early next week, extension or no extension. Nobody likes training camp, especially Andy Reid's training camp, which Chris Jones has been through a number of times, and especially veterans. It's friggin' hot. There's a heat wave coming next week. It's not the most pleasant time to come back, but if you're Chris Jones and you want to keep negotiating, remember, he's under contract. It's not like he doesn't have a contract. So he can come back and they can still work on an extension. So if he's made his point and he wants to come back while his agent continues to work on the extension, this week would be the week to do it. A couple of weeks away from the season, get out there, get stretched out, get back in the swing of things. You're at the facility. You don't have to go live in a dorm room, all that stuff. So no, I'm not concerned. I don't think we should be concerned until it's game week and there's still no Chris Jones. At that point, 5-alarm fire, hit the panic button, slap your mother, whatever it is. But yeah, that's when I would panic. Right now, this is Chris Jones. This dude's been in the league a long time. He knows what to do. He knows the playbook. I'm not worried yet. Tom Wood says, will Chris Jones make an appearance selling hot dogs? He would. He'd be the one to do that. Did you guys see on Twitter this week, somebody set up a fake GoFundMe? I don't think it was real. I never actually saw a real landing page for Chris Jones, but they were sharing an image of a Chris Jones GoFundMe, and it said, I need $10 million to go play football. And he actually shared it and was like, this ain't me. Don't donate to this. Hilarious. As long as somebody didn't actually set up a scam, which I don't think they did. Hilarious. Clint says, man, I missed you all. Yeah, we missed you too, Clint. Where you been? Haven't seen you in a minute. Tungsten says, I just tweeted at you my pregame ritual. It's hilarious. On screen, you're looking up to your right. I'll have to check that out. You tagged me? Let me see if I can see it. Oh, I'm logged in as Arrow. Oh, here we go. You all know what time it is. Watching Patrick Allen drinking my KC beer. My man. I love it. I'm not the biggest fan of seeing myself on screen. What's that? Is that what? Oh, it's Advil. I was wondering if you had some Pepsid there. I'm a big Pepsid guy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you always for your support and supporting our former sponsor, KC Beer Co. Let's see here. Country Clay, thanks for the answer. Finger crossed. Yeah, man, absolutely. Caleb says, do I wear my Mahomes jersey I bought myself for Christmas last year to only wear on game days, and we haven't lost since. I get it. You're worried about you don't want any bad juju. It's a preseason game. That's a lucky jersey, man. Look, Caleb, I say don't wear it. If it's been working for you so far, it's not worth putting it out in a preseason game when Patrick Mahomes isn't even going to be playing the whole game and they're not actually trying to win. So if you've had a lucky streak with that, you owe it to the kingdom not to do anything foolish with it. So you might even consider just saving it for the playoffs. You might not want to, or maybe some big games. But remember, once the shine's off, the shine's off. So I wouldn't bring it out for this game. Absolutely not. Tungsten says they need to sponsor you guys again. Hey, man, we really appreciate KC Beer's support over the last year plus. They've been absolutely fantastic. It's good. Sometimes it's good for a sponsor to take a break. And what we need is a new sponsor. So if any of you know anybody in the Kansas City area, we got all kinds of sponsorship opportunities. It's not that expensive. Let me know. You got a business. You want to kick us a few clams? I got you. We can give you a segment on a show. We need it. And also we love promoting our fans, the people that watch this show, some of the products that they make. People have given us whiskey and prayer candles. Y'all are the best, man. Ed says, chances Chiefs don't sign Jones, Gay, Snead, and after this year. I would be shocked if all three of those guys were gone next year. If I had to power rank them, of least likely to return and most likely to return. The Chiefs have not been keen to give cornerbacks second contracts and pay them a bunch of money to let Charvarius Ward go. They've been really good at drafting and finding diamond in the rough DBs. And if they think, and they've been drafting a ton of them recently, which usually is an indication they might think that L'Jarius Sneed is on his way out. I think they should keep him. He's great. Fantastic tackler along with his coverage skills, but he's going to be really expensive. So I would put him as the least likely to return, but he's at the top of my list of guys on that list. Well, Jones is at the top of who they should sign, then Sneed. But if they have the money and they work something out with Jones and they really want to bring back Sneed, I don't think you see Willie Gay come back. They brought in Drew Tranquil. I like Willie Gay. He's incredibly athletic, but he hasn't he's very good. He's a good player for them, but he hasn't kind of hit in the way that you hoped, at least that I hope somebody with that kind of crazy athleticism would. You see somebody like that and you're thinking about Derek Johnson, like 2.0. It hasn't really, it just that we haven't gotten there yet. So, yeah. But if they're able to, the two they should keep are Chris Jones and L'Jarius Sneed. And if they got to let Willie Gay Jr. go because of that, they got to do it. Plus, he had the weird off-field, pseudo domestic violence thing, which doesn't feel great. So there's some risk involved, maybe with some of his decision making. I'm not trying to throw the guy under the bus. It was one thing, but yeah. Let's see what's next. Jesus asks about Creed Humphrey coming back. Jesus, I hope so. I know, the Chiefs let Rodney Hudson go years ago as a different regime, and he was a very good center for a long time. Ended up on the Raiders, unfortunately. Creed Humphrey is better than Rodney Hudson. Creed Humphrey is Hall of Fame track right now. That he's got the All Pro. If he can keep it up, stay healthy, playing with Mahomes. That quarterback center exchange is kind of sacred. Remember Jeff Saturday and Peyton Manning all those years? If it was me, I want to keep Creed Humphrey and Patrick Mahomes together. Centers are not crazy expensive, even the really good ones. So depending on how the roster shakes out, I wouldn't play with that one, man. If they can, I would try to keep Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith next to each other for a long, long time. Joe Thuney's obviously making a lot of money and isn't going to be here for the remainder of Mahomes' career, but I'd be thrilled if Creed Humphrey and Patrick Mahomes retired at the same time, in their late 40s or something like that. And I also just Creed Humphrey's hilarious. He's awesome. TPT's here. What's up, man? Been a minute, I think. It's your boy TPT. Do you think we should bring in another running back? I don't like our options at 2. There's some people out there. I mean, Kareem Hunt's still out there. I don't think they'll probably bring him back after what happened. I think they're all right. I really do. I think with Pirine and Prince, if they want to keep 4, you do have to worry a little bit about injuries when it comes to running back, but they've shown the ability to, this is a pass first offense. It's not a run first offense. It's never going to be a run first offense as long as they've got Patrick Mahomes. And they've won a Super Bowl with a 7th round rookie in Isaiah Pacheco, a cast off and Jerick McKinnon, Damian Williams. Why? They seem to be able to take guys, and I'm not saying Isaiah Pacheco is necessarily a guy, but they've won it with replacement level running backs twice. So, do they need to? I don't think so. Unless there's something they really don't like about that 3rd level of depth that they have, like pass protection or knowing the playbook or ball security issues, then you might want to bring somebody in. But I just don't think it's a big position of need for this team. I'd rather they go find a defensive tackle. TPT says, yeah, sorry, I haven't been able to come on the live shows going through kidney disease. Oh shit, man. I'm sorry. Really sorry to hear that. Prayers up to you. I hope you on the mend. I hope you are able to get healthy. I don't know much about kidney disease, but it sounds really serious, and appreciate your support as always. And, we've all had family go through health issues. If this show brings you any sort of distraction while you're going through that, and that goes for all of you out there, that means, that we'd be thrilled. Clint says, Chiefs game not available on lovely SoCal, so get to hang out and hear my man Patrick for real. Clint, it's not cheap, but I think NFL Plus is like $99, I want to say. You can get the preseason games. I think you get NFL Network, some other things. You get the all 22. If you like really diving in to the games after the fact, you get all the games after the fact too. That's how I'm going to watch it tonight because I'm in Chicago. They're showing, I think the Bears are playing. So that's my suggestion to you. Conway says, any concern about Kelsey getting into an altercation? 3 so far. If you don't know, in camp, guys have been swatting the ball out of Kelsey's hand. He took a swing at somebody. It got chippy. No, I'm not concerned about that at all. These things happen in training camp. It's friggin' hot. It's a game of grown men trying to move each other around. It's competitive. Kelsey obviously doesn't like when they're punching that ball out after the whistle. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Steve Spagnuolo is like, yeah, keep doing it to the defense. Keep fucking with him. Keep punching the ball out. Drive him crazy. And that's good. It sets the tone. It sets the attitude for the defense. And it's all practice, right? Kelsey, if you think if his own teammates are going to fuck with him like that, you don't think that the Raiders are going to do that? The Chargers are going to try to get under his skin? He's had a history when he was younger, not so much recently, of being a little bit of a hothead, getting personal foul penalties. So that's good, man. It might be an Andy Reid galaxy brain genius move. Probably told all the defenders all summer just to drive Kelsey absolutely out of his mind so that when he gets to the regular season, he's able to keep control of himself. Why not, man? I love it. But no, I'm not concerned. He's been really good. Jeremiah says $14.99 a month for NFL Plus. That's what I'm doing. What does that add up to? I'm not a math guy. Sounds like more than what I said. Yeah, that's $179. That's a lot. Can you cancel it? What's the preseason? I really like the all 22. If I can cancel it after the season, maybe it's like $99 for the season. And then if you want to keep it all year, I don't know, man. You guys tell me. I'm on live here. Any other questions about the game? We're getting close to it. By the way, while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, I'm in a dynasty startup league right now, and I had the 3rd pick, and I was like, man, I'm going to have to take Jalen Hurts because Mahomes goes 1 overall, and I had a trade on the table for that number 1 pick, and the dude last minute, it was basically handshaked. And he takes a counter from somebody else and then accepts the deal without coming back to me. He's just a coworker. I'm furious. I'm beside myself. I had to draft friggin' Jalen Hurts. The only silver lining is that Arrowhead Addict co-founder Zach Best, who's the one who got Mahomes, had to give up picks. And he's a really strong fantasy player. He might be watching right now. Screw you, Zach. So mad. I was like, oh man, I'm going to get to have Mahomes. I've never had him on one of my fantasy teams. And it was right before I had to come on the show too. So I haven't even gotten to properly grieve. You're watching me go through it right now. Caleb says, did you see how crap Buffalo's starters looked? Looks like it's Cincinnati and Arrowhead in January. I love overreacting to preseason. I think Buffalo's going to be fine. I think the biggest thing that Buffalo's got to worry about is that division. I'm not too high on the Patriots, but they'll be around 500 and Belichick sneaky. But you got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. They got a lot of young talent. It's a tough division. Miami, if Tua's right, explosive on offense, they can get you. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough for Buffalo. I still think they're the best team in the division. Just like I think the Bengals are the best team in the North. but the Browns, if Deshaun Watson returns to form, well, he's going to be, they could be a lot better. They won a decent amount of games last year, and they had no quarterback play all year, even when Watson came back. They still have Chubb. They upgraded their wide receivers. I like a lot of guys on their defense. I think the Steelers will be better. I'm a big fan of Mike Tomlin. I think he's an excellent coach. If their young quarterback takes a step forward, And then you got the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's back, and they've got a lot of talent. So, like, I think Cincinnati's got the hardest hill to climb in the NFL in terms of winning their division and then also trying to get the number 1 seed. And if Joe Burrow's calf, like if they're going to be cautious with that calf and they maybe sit him out a game or two, I think Cincinnati plays Cleveland in the first week of the season. That's not good. That's not good for Cincinnati, but it's good for the Chiefs if they can take care. I think the Chargers are coming this year. I know everybody jokes. We always joke about them, people saying that, but they have gone through the offensive coordinator change. If they're more competent coaching-wise on offense, we know the talent that they have over there on both sides of the ball. If the Chiefs can take care of business with the Chargers, I'm not scared of the Broncos and Sean Payton. I'm not scared of Russ. Russ still looks cooked in the preseason that I'm not worried about those guys. And the Raiders are going to be terrible. So if you're the Chiefs, seeing the AFC East and North get a little bit stronger, I'm actually kind of concerned about Jacksonville. Chiefs need to make sure they win that game. They should. They're the better team. But when it all comes down to it, and we're sitting here and we're like, oh, who are the Chiefs going to be competing with for the number 1 seed? Is it going to be Cincinnati or Buffalo? Don't sleep on Jacksonville because that division is a tire fire. The Colts don't know what they're doing. The Texans are in a complete rebuild. I'm not scared of the Titans. Nobody's scared of the Titans. Derrick Henry's old. Vrabel's a good coach. But that's it. I mean, the Titans are... So if you're the Jacksonville, you should rack up 6 wins right there. So the Chiefs need to win that game because don't be surprised if Jacksonville is real hot all year. They added to their team. Lawrence is ascending. His rookie year was wasted by Urban Meyer. So the Bengals could be the 3 seed. Bills could be the 4. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Jeremiah says, AFC is nuts. There are 11, 12 playoff caliber teams. 4 or 5 will be on the couch in January. Yeah, it's wild, man. Like if you look at the AFC, so like when I glance at the AFC, right? Teams I think have a shot at the playoffs. The Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, the Chargers. Like I think all those teams have a pretty strong case. You could maybe throw Pittsburgh in there. 10 teams, they ain't all making it. One of those teams isn't even gonna make the playoffs. If I had to put money on it, I'd say the Jets, possibly. We just don't know. I think they're going to be good. I think they'll be in the playoff hunt, but they play in a tough division. If they get off to a slow start, Aaron Rodgers, newness, all that, right? Like we've seen that happen. Even the Chiefs last year with a bunch of new players on offense, they lost to the Colts. Like somebody's going to be the odd man out here. I hope it's the Chargers. They always play the Chiefs really tough. And it's just hilarious watching them charger. And there was actually an article on ESPN this week about them charging. Any last questions? Caleb says, I'm not on the Jacksonville hype train. They were a Josh Dobbs fumble away from not even making the playoffs with the Titans whole team on IR. Lawrence is way too inconsistent. Yeah, man, but like I'm just giving him a total mulligan on his rookie year. I can see the talent. And that comeback against the Chargers, like I believe in Trevor Lawrence, and I believe if you have a quarterback and Doug Peterson, right? Like Doug Peterson's a good coach, won a Super Bowl, comes from Andy Reid, and I think they got better in the offseason. So, maybe they don't go 14 wins or something, like I'm hyping them up, but like they should win that division, no problem. If they don't, Doug Peterson might be on the hot seat. Clint says, funny thing, statistically, the Chargers will be good someday. Fortunately, the heat death of the universe will occur before then. Absolutely. All right, look, the game's supposed to start off in 2 minutes, kickoff. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys have been awesome, but don't go anywhere. Keep it right here. We'll have a halftime show right here on the Arrowhead Addict YouTube channel and a post-game show. And it won't just be me. There'll be more of us. So we want to hear your thoughts on the first half and after the game and what you saw out there. So light your candles, say a prayer, no injuries, knock on wood, all that stuff. And I will see you guys at the half. But until then, as always, Go Chiefs.